I always knew that having kids was my purpose. It was what I was meant to do. And now that I've been in a relationship for almost 4 years now, it's certainly something I think about. And I don't just want to become a father, right? I want to be a great father. And to be a great father, I need to prepare for it. Now, you probably clicked on this video because you want to know how I'm preparing to be a father at such a young age. So you can also start to prepare to be a father. Now, you don't need to be in a relationship to start preparing to be a father. You can think about the fact that you need to prepare financially because you're going to need to have the resources, maybe not to buy a house, but at least to rent something and provide for your kid, right? But something that a lot of guys forget, it seems, is you need to be emotionally ready. And when I say emotionally ready, I don't mean like you need to feel like you're ready. I mean, you need to be emotionally mature. Think of the archetype of the wise old man. We see that character a lot in movies. That character is always at peace with himself and with the others. And what I see a lot of young guys doing, I mean, even older guys, even my father, is they react with so much anger in situations that really don't require any anger whatsoever. Maybe they just feel a little bit off, they feel a little bit tired, and they react with anger. They put it on other people to deal with the fact they're emotionally immature. And to be a great father, you absolutely need to get rid of that. You can't be emotionally immature. You need to embrace that energy of the wise old man. So that's one of the things I'm really thinking about. I'm putting a lot of intention in being more at peace with myself and more at peace with others. And how am I doing that? Well, meditation. And whenever I realize that I was angry at some point during the day, I think about it and I realize that maybe I should have been a little bit nicer. And next time, I'm gonna be nicer. I'm gonna be cooler in these harder situations. So that's one thing. Another thing is I'm preparing my health. I'm preparing my health because you need to be healthy before having kids. You see, when the sperm will meet the egg, you want that sperm to have all the chances in the world. You want that sperm to be healthy. And to do that, you need to increase your vitality and your fertility. Maybe this means removing a little bit of these artificial things that you have in your life. I mean, you can think about microplastic, about all of the weird products you put on your skin, on your hair, that are maybe causing some DNA damage, that are maybe not healthy for you. And also, you need to start thinking about what you're eating because that's really affecting your fertility. Now, all of the other pillars of health you need to think about. You need to think about your sleep, about your diet, and you need to optimize it before having kids. But even after having kids, you need to keep that up. You need to show the example. And honestly, being healthy is simply one of the most important things in your life. In my life, there's basically two things that are more important than everything else. It's first and foremost relationship. So, relationship to my girl, relationship to my friends, relationship to my family, relationship to myself, right? All of these types of relationships, that's the most important thing. But second, it's my health. Because whenever you're sick, you realize just how important health is. When you're sick, nothing else matters except your health. So, of course, you need to be healthy if you want to be a great father. So, now let's imagine you're emotionally mature, which takes a lot of work, but let's say you're emotionally mature and you're healthy. What next? Well, for me, as a young guy, I need to work on my finance. Now, what am I doing? Well, basically, I'm working a lot and I'm just saving everything, saving absolutely everything. I'm studying hard at school, so in the future I can have a great job and I can make money safely, with a secure job. And also, I've got my personal work like this YouTube channel, just trying to become better at a skill. Now, this is making videos, but any other skills would do. A skill that you can make money out of it. I mean, there's plenty of people making money out of making videos, right? So that's something I'm trying out. And you can try out something completely different than that, or simply just focus on your studies or on your work and build wealth. You need to save money and you need to invest your money to build actual wealth. And honestly, I've been doing pretty good myself. I've saved a lot of money and I'm really starting to be ready, like just to buy a house, right? And paired with my girl, we're definitely getting ready to buy a house, right? Now, to be actually ready to be a father, you need to work on your relationship with your girl. Now, the three first things I talked about, you can do them without being in a relationship. You can work on your finance, on your health, and on your emotional maturity. But you need to be a relationship to work on your relationship. Now, I read a lot of books about relationship. I've watched a lot of podcasts about relationship, which is something you could start doing even if you're not in a relationship. But the real work begins when you're in a relationship. Now, if you're watching this video, there's quite a good chance that you're in a relationship. Well, one of the things you're gonna need to work on is, well, talk about having kids with your girl. What does she think about it? You can ask plenty of questions of how are you actually gonna take care of your kids? What values are you gonna teach your kids? These are all important things that if you forget to talk about them before having kids and you have kids, it might cause extreme conflict in the relationship once you're a father. And that's the worst thing possible for your kid. So that's number one. Another thing you need to talk about is, how good are you in this relationship? How happy do you feel about this relationship? There's a lot of spheres about relationship that you can optimize, so the relationship is just more fun. It's healthier. And one of those things is simply, how's your intimacy? How's your sexual life with your partner? It sounds stupid, but that's something so important about a romantic life, about a relationship, and something that you need to work on. You need to improve your communication with your girl so you can talk about these sensitive topics. Now, there's plenty of other things I'm doing. I'm learning more about certain things, but the most important things are really these four things. It's working on your emotional maturity, because you need to be mature. Trust me, when I see a father that's mature, that's not aggressive, that doesn't act on his anger, that stays stoic, he's got that wise energy, well, you feel so much better around someone like that. And as a kid, that's the best example you want to have. So that's the first thing. The second thing is your health. I mean, you might not even be fertile. Maybe you've caused too much DNA damage. Maybe you've been indulging in too much microplastics, and maybe you're not fertile. So fertility is certainly something, it's a prerequisite to all of this. You need to be fertile to have kids, right? So your health, extremely important. Financial wise, if you want to give your kids a great life, at least you don't want to spoil your kids, certainly, but if you want them to have a great life where they can play sports, where they can go to places and enjoy themselves at least a little bit, you need to be financially mature. You need to have some sort of stability financially. So that you can start to work on right now. Save money, acquire skills, study hard or work hard, and get at a better position in your life. And lastly, work on your relationship with your girl and make sure that both of you are ready. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Mwah.